I was like, and it ain't no disrespect, but I kind of think you're gay. You just act a little gay.
Problem with
Not at all. I've got a problem with people that pretend they're not gay. So one thing bad about Jay-Z, not one.
He's not in the room. You shouldn't talk about him.
Don't tell me what to do.
You said you shouldn't talk about men
Now
when they're not in the room.
You're interrupting me.
Now you're doing the girl stuff.
I know him. I'm giving you an example, right?
You used to know him.
Can I talk? You upset.
Stop everything. Damon Dash just detonated The Breakfast Club with a homophobic tirade, accusing Charlamagne the God of hiding his sexuality and obsessing over Jay-Z, live on air. Within seconds, cameras caught Charlamagne's face curdling into shock as Dash barked, "Either you got a crush on this man or he's paying you, one or the other." The broadcast yanked the conversation out of hip-hop gossip and slammed it into a nuclear standoff over masculinity, loyalty, and reputation. Producers scrambled, advertisers paused sponsorships pending review. By noon, 3 iHeartRadio partners flagged the segment for internal compliance, and a social media firestorm erupted. This wasn't two media personalities bickering. This was an all-out ambush, Dane swinging at Charlamagne's manhood, sexuality, and very place in the culture with no warning and no breaks.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
This is hilarious. I love this is hilarious.
So what I'm saying is, you might, because you started in gossip, which is, is very feminine, and you are acting like, there's some degree of like, you want people to listen to you, and that we want people that represent masculinity, because men need to be doing what they need to do as men. They don't need to be worried about girl stuff. Period.
Just hours after the segment, Dash hit Instagram to double down, threatening legal action if Charlamagne compromised his reputation. Warning, "I have proof to support everything I say that will stand up in any court." The fallout was instant. On air, Dash pressed Charlamagne about his paper plane shirt, the Roc Nation brand, jabbing, "Did you buy that shirt? They didn't give it to you as much as you say nice things. So, I think you're homosexual." Charlamagne, flustered but grinning, shot back that Dash is broke. In that moment, the Breakfast Club's glass table transformed into a bare-knuckle ring, with both men scrapping for the title of hip-hop's last real alpha. Within 20 minutes, audience calls hit the network, demanding an apology, a suspension, or just someone to yank the mic.
That's your way, but you're just not masculine. I've seen him run. I looked at a whole reel of, there's like a thing that says how many people bark. There's stuff that how many times you talk about other people's genitals.
Dame wasn't in the building to promote, he was there to wage war. He charged at Charlamagne's masculinity with live grenades. "You move like a Harlem auntie," Dame spat, then pumped his chest as the only real masculine man in the room. He challenged Charlamagne to a fight, threatening, "I can punch you right in your face like a grown man, and you won't do shit." There was no chill, not from Dame, not from the control room. "If we was on the street right now and you were talking like that, I would have up you up." That's the line that sent the Breakfast Club's U2 live chat into meltdown. What's at stake? Millions in branding, syndication, and the basic question of who gets to dictate the rules of masculinity in hip-hop media. This wasn't a spat about semantics, it was a public audition for King of the Hill, with each man dragging the other by the collar of his manhood.
We got different trauma. So you can't really look through my eyes, because you do things different.
You that much?
No, do I look bothered?
Yeah.
I'm bothered
Actually, you do.
What I'm bothered about is you're speaking in front of people confidently and you don't have the experience or the knowledge. And also, I'm afraid that white people think that we act like you. You're not dumb.
As the masculinity war played out, the money wasn't far behind. Dash had announced during the same broadcast that he would serve as the new chairman of Revolt TV, effective immediately. Within 3 hours, Loren LaRosa from The Breakfast Club posted, "I just spoke to a lead publicist at Revolt TV who confirmed to me Dame Dash is not the chairman of the network." The message lit up the rumor mill. Dash swatted at the pushback on Instagram. "Here goes the bull. I'm the chairman for the month. If I acquire, I will be official chairman. Please stop playing with words." The only outlet to confirm any partnership was Vibe, which reported a 1-month arrangement to funnel Dash's America New Network content into Revolt's lineup. As of this taping, Revolt's press office hasn't commented on the chairman title, leaving sponsors and even Dash's own supporters in limbo. The longer the ambiguity drags out, the more it feels engineered to provoke headlines, not business. Meanwhile, the core charge keeps mutating. Dash hammered Charlamagne on air. "You started in gossip, which is very feminine, and you want people to listen to you. We want people that represent masculinity because men need to be doing what they need to do as men. They don't need to be worried about girl stuff." He called Charlamagne's past feminine, accused him of running from fights, and brought up the infamous 2012 clip of Charlamagne fleeing 4 attackers. For Dash, survival meant standing ground and taking an being over retreat. To rub it in, he even asked co-host Loren LaRosa if she'd trust Charlamagne to protect her in a street brawl, answering for her, he'd run and you'd have to run with him. The insults ping-ponged until Charlamagne returned fire, branding Dame broke and calling his brand Det Dash. No one blinked. Every jab drew blood.
Before, what do you mean act like him? I just want you to
I want to know.
I'm gonna say so. The way you keep interrupting me, the way you keep saying things that aren't true but don't know.
Like what? What did I say that's not true?
Let me say what I'm saying. I was still talking. Okay? So, because when y'all do that, I forget what I'm going to say because I be like, da-da-da.
You're not saying shit,
No, you don't.
Here's where the story shifts from brawl to backroom. As Dash aired out his suspicions about Charlamagne's loyalty to Jay-Z, 3 former Def Jam staffers whispered about secret non-disclosure agreements. The talk isn't just that Charlamagne respects Jay, it's that he's contractually barred from dragging him on air. Insiders from Rock Nation, according to one podcast regular, say private meetings took place in early 2023, with NDAs and payouts floated. The rumors are radioactive, but nothing's confirmed. What matters is the shadow they cast. Every time Charlamagne defends Jay-Z, is it just respect or something closer to a legal muzzle? The tension between on-air realness and backroom silence just hit code red. If Dame's accusations are true, or even if they're a fever dream with a few receipts, Charlamagne's entire credibility may sit on a fault line of secret contracts, private loyalty, and what 3X producers call Jay's media force field. The money isn't just in sponsorships, it's in who gets to say what and who gets paid to keep quiet. The line between host and hype man for the culture's biggest names is thinner than ever. For the Breakfast Club, the drama is now a live wire running through every dollar and every deal.
Between you and I, I don't think you're a proper representation of the masculine black man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you guys are.
I'm listening.
Okay.
The public is still waiting for a statement from iHeart's parent company. Advertiser calls haven't stopped. View counts on the Breakfast Club's YouTube interview tripled overnight, crossing 36 million by the next morning. Social media caught every micro-expression, every hesitation, with meme accounts dissecting who blinked first. In the middle of the mess, Dame Dash's self-declared chairmanship of Revolt still floats in the ether, untethered by press releases, denied by network reps, but pushed on Dash's personal channels, with more chest-thumping than any boardroom has ever seen. By the minute, new DMs leak out. Industry group chats are on fire with speculation about what happens if Charlamagne finally addresses the NDA rumors head-on. Revolt TV sponsors have quietly pushed for a board review, pressing the network to clarify Dash's actual position and who exactly is calling the shots. All while Dame and Charlamagne are still publicly sniping, their feud now a rolling thunderclap echoing through hip-hop media. The Breakfast Club isn't just in damage control, it's in identity crisis mode, with both men pushing the limits of how much dirt you can kick up before someone, somewhere, finally gets booted from the table. The next bomb could drop at any second, and the ripple effect will not stop at just one studio. The old Breakfast Club throne looks rickety now, with more splinters than gold. Dame's takedown didn't just bruise Charlamagne's ego, it exposed every crack in the empire. For years, the Breakfast Club ran the city's conversation, but this tirade hit as DJ Envy faces federal heat over the real estate scandal, leaving him missing from the studio and his face popping up in court sketches instead of selfies. Angela Yee packed up and left in 2023, warning that the dynamic is changing. The change turned out to be an open wound. What's left is Charlamagne, fighting to keep control, now dragged through Dame Dash's mud in front of millions. Suddenly, Dame's meltdown looks less like a rogue outburst and more like a vulture circling a wounded animal. The culture isn't just watching a spat, they're watching the slow-motion collapse of hip-hop's most powerful talk show.
You see what's going on? Mm-hmm. Now, if I started yelling, they'd be saying I'm bugging.
Yeah.
But this is, remember I told you, this is how I get triggered. Just let me teach. If you don't know, listen. Listen to the teacher. I'm teaching you right now, because this is a business you don't know. You've been in this room for 30 years straight. So you're missing a lot of life.
Not really.
Every minute since that broadcast, the Breakfast Club brand has bled. Syndication partners are reportedly calling for reassurances, and network sources say several advertisers have quietly pushed for distance until things cool off. The show that once crowned and canceled careers now feels like a case study in self-destruction. Charlamagne's reaction was all nerves and forced laughter, but the cameras saw it. He looked cornered. Dame pressed his advantage, wielding masculinity like a weapon and daring Charlamagne to defend himself, either with his fists or his filings. By noon the next day, 3 major media outlets ran headlines about Breakfast Club on the brink. The pressure is coming from every direction: law, legacy, and the cold reality of shrinking ratings. Threats, Lawsuits, street codes, it all collided in that studio. Dame Dash whiplashed from talking contracts to talking consequences, sometimes in the same sentence. One second, he was channeling Johnny Cochran, vowing on Instagram, "I have proof to support everything I say that will stand up in any court." The next, he was ready to throw hands. Warning, if we was on the street right now and you were talking like that, I would have messed you up. We've never seen anyone swing from legal threats to street justice this fast. It's a cocktail of unpredictability. Dame could drag Charlamagne to court or to the curb. Nobody knows which will come first. It's the kind of volatility that makes studios nervous and makes streaming numbers explode. And for Charlamagne, who built his brand on keeping it real, the threat of getting called out in a courtroom or a parking lot is the new norm.
Your OG is Wendy Williams. My OG is sitting right here. You see him? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you why he's my OG. Because he anybody or any of those things. He just taught me how to be a better man.
Wendy's not my OG.
Can you
That's
stop?
Funny, though.
Can you stop?
Wendy Williams is your OG.
Wasn't she your boss?
Yeah, at one point.
So
yeah.
she was your OG. She put you on, and you should give her grace. And you.
Charlamagne tried to play it cool, leaning on old routines. Eye rolls, counter punches, a couple of "you're broke" jabs, but nothing landed. Not when Dame dragged every insult down to the level of loyalty, masculinity, and the unspoken codes that keep the industry glued together. Every time Charlamagne tried to defend himself with words, Dame flexed with street credentials. The tension wasn't just about what was said, it was about what could happen next. Would Dame file a lawsuit or swing on him in a hallway? Charlamagne looked like a man who wasn't sure if he should call his lawyer or his big cousin. Just when the studio temperature couldn't rise any higher, Dame Dash dropped the Revolt chairman bomb. On the surface, it looked like a power play, a new seat at the table for a legend trying to reclaim the crown. But within hours, the whole move was exposed as shaky at best. Loren LaRosa, plugged in as ever, posted to X that a lead publicist at Revolt denied Dame's chairmanship outright, and yet Dame spun it as a temporary title. "I'm the chairman for the month. If I acquire, I will be official chairman. Please stop playing with words." No deal confirmed, no press release, just Dame pushing the fantasy like he was talking about a house he didn't actually buy. It reads like the most desperate chess move in recent memory. Manufacture chaos, hijack the spotlight, and hope no one checks the receipts. Behind the scenes, network execs are left wondering if Dame's announcement was a calculated distraction from the real humiliation. The fact that, in the end, he wasn't in control of anything but his own Instagram. 3 former Revolt insiders say the board didn't even vote on Dame's name. The only thing flowing from his American New Network into Revolt's content stream is a steady trickle of controversy. To borrow a line from one industry regular, "If Dame's chairman, I'm the Queen of England." Vibe magazine remains the only outlet to publish even a word about the alleged partnership. And as of this morning, Revolt's parent company still won't comment. There's one angle the culture can't stop dissecting: Charlamagne's relentless fixation on Jay-Z. For years, casual listeners and power players alike have clocked the pattern. Every third episode, another glowing Jay-Z reference, a paper planes cap, an unprompted Rock Nation shout-out. This goes deeper than business alliances or even legal silences. The pattern is so baked in that it's become a running gag in the industry, with A&R execs quietly betting on which segment Charlamagne will squeeze Jay into next. Even without any non-disclosure agreement or off-the-books retainer, the gravitational pull is obvious. It's as if Charlamagne can't anchor his own identity without orbiting Jay's legendary influence, a dynamic that has started to raise eyebrows among his oldest radio peers.
It's something that happens over and over again. You can never expect not to get betrayed by your brother. You remember last time I was here, I said you don't mess with, that's why I don't be around men. Mm-hmm. So we all know they betrayed Jesus. I said this.
You walked in here with a man.
Can I finish, please? Charlamagne, don't you do the therapy thing?
Industry observers say this isn't just professional respect or the afterglow of a powerful friendship. It looks like a textbook case of brand dependency. Charlamagne's own interviews, merch drops, and public moments are laced with Jay's ethos, from business lessons to one-liners about real kings. For some, it signals a host who can't write his own chapter without stapling himself to Hub's legacy. The Breakfast Club used to set the trends. Now, it can feel like it's riding shotgun in Jay-Z's convoy, with Charlamagne gripping the wheel a little too tight. The risk? Every time the show leans into another Jay-Z talking point, it trades away a piece of its autonomy, its unpredictability, and maybe even its credibility as a space for real, independent conversation.
Let me just say one more. Okay, let me finish that.
Yep.
You should know that if someone's beefing with someone, you don't tell their kids, and you don't get with that person's children, and you know better than that. So don't act stupid.
If y'all are beefing, then that's something different. If
Are
we not beefing?
Are y'all really beefing though? Would you call it beef? You said it's not beef.
This dependency twist lands like a cold splash of water in the saga. It refrains Dame Dash's attacks as a spotlight on something more troubling than mere scandal, a psychological handcuff locking Charlamagne into a cycle of borrowed relevance. For all the legal talk, personal shots, and viral threats, maybe the most damaging truth is this: The show's most vocal survivor can't stop propping up a king who's never coming to save him. If that's the real story, the Breakfast Club's future looks even more fragile. Its identity at the mercy of an obsession that nobody inside the room seems ready to admit. What's more, every misstep in Dame's public campaign lands like a stone in Charlamagne's lap. For years, critics whispered about secret deals and unspoken rules inside the Breakfast Club bubble. Now the drama is out in the open, with Dame hammering at every weak spot and Charlamagne forced to defend himself on ground he never expected to stand on. The legal threats hover in the air unresolved. The street threats echo in memes and clips, replayed millions of times. Neither side wants to back down. But every hour this story lingers, the bigger target becomes the show itself. How long can the Breakfast Club claim cultural power if every week brings new chaos, a new lawsuit, another host gone missing or caught on the defensive? And let's not pretend Dame Dash is in the clear either. His bravado, once legendary, now smells like desperation to some insiders. With bankruptcy filings shadowing him, an alleged chairman title denied by the network, and his only constant being controversy, it's hard to say if he's exposing the culture's frauds or auditioning for his own next act as professional troublemaker. One longtime Rockefeller associate muttered to us, "Dame just wants to be the last man standing in a room full of empty chairs." Maybe so. But in this fight, the chairs are burning, the cameras are rolling, and nobody can quite look away.
You know what I'm saying? So when I hear things about Dame, it seems like people only tell the bad side because the person who has the most money is on the other side. That's the part I don't like, you know? So when I hear certain things, I don't like it. And I would want to...
This isn't just about two egos sparring for likes. It's about the Breakfast Club's survival, about whether the most influential talk show in hip-hop can outlast its own drama, legal mess, and constant turnover. We're watching a battle for the soul of an institution, with street code, contracts, and streaming numbers all colliding in real time. And as the dust settles, the question on every manager's desk is simple: who's left to trust? If the only thing keeping the show afloat is controversy, what happens when the outrage dries up, or worse, finally get someone suspended for good? Now the industry is split. Are we witnessing Dame Dash finally ripping the mask off the Breakfast Club's big names, exposing every dirty little secret? Or is he just unraveling in public, torching every bridge to keep himself trending for one more week? Maybe the real story isn't who won the fight, it's who walks away with their name untarnished, and who gets remembered for setting fire to the house they once helped build. So, who's really finished here? Charlamagne, the Breakfast Club, or Dame Dash himself? Hit us in the comments, we want to know. Whose side are you on, and who do you think is about to get the final word? Thanks for watching. Keep your receipts close, because in this game, the only thing wilder than the truth is what comes next.